Hey Flosstube. So it's me, Emily C. If you've never watched my channel before, I do a channel about cross stitch. I also update you on my life stuff because I feel like we're friends. So I usually do a lot of that at the end of the video, but today I have a couple of finishes, one fully finished. I have a couple of projects that I've worked on. I have some haul, and let's just jump in. It is, some people are talking about how it's starting to cool off where they live. I live in Georgia and still hot. We got 100-degree days here recently. So I got in my car at the end of work yesterday and it was over 100 degrees in my car. So there's that. Long hair. This time of year, I always start thinking about cutting off my hair. And if you've been watching me for a while, you know sometimes that actually happens. I've had my hair every which way and every color in all of the years that I've been doing this. But trying to hold out because this is the longest I've had my hair in a really long time. And there's so much you can do with long hair. Like you can work it down, you can pull it up. Anyway, I digress. The thing that I'm most excited to show you guys is my full finish. I have been really pushing towards a finish on the 7 Sheep sampler by the Scarlet House because, a little plastic there, because this is what I am gifting my husband for our 10-year anniversary in October. I pushed and it's done a little early. He's already seen it. He actually helped me pick out the frame. He's known that I've been working on it. So he loves it. We're trying to figure out where to put it in our house. I did this in the called for overdyed cottons, with the exception of there's a color in here called Raspberry Parfait. I changed that to Gassed Ginger Snap. I also, as if you've been watching me for a while, you know that I took out this verse. I put in a verse from Led Zeppelin's The Rain Song, which is our song. And because that verse is a little bit longer than this, like I took out this section of initials and whatnot, which I really didn't like anyway. And then I pulled this border down to kind of cap off the bottom of the verse again. So I also did it, this was done on a piece of, I think it is vintage sand dunes from Lakeside. I'm 99% sure that's correct. Mine is done on a piece of 36 count Picture This Plus Murky. Okay. It's done. And I'm so happy with it. And we're going to turn this light off for a second so you can hopefully get a better view of it. It's so big. I love it. I love it so much. I hope this is my main picture. I don't think this is the biggest cross stitch piece I've ever finished. I'm pretty sure my, actually I know my heartstring samplery piece, His Eyes on the Sparrow, which I also changed the verse in, is larger than this. But I love this frame. I think it turned out great. I turned one of the sheep into a little black sheep next to me because if you know me at all, you know that's very appropriate. I just love this piece. And you know what? I think we are going to have it prop right here behind me for the remainder of this video. You can't really see it, but it's there. All right, let's get this light back on. Okay. You can see colors better with that. Okay, anyway. So that is done. It's framed. I love it. I love it so much. I don't stitch for finishes. I'm so much a progress stitcher, which if you've been watching me for a while, you also know that because I have so many whips. But I like to get finishes. And I love to get a finish like this that can go on my wall and I can be oh so proud of. I have one other finish. I started this a while ago. This is Ink Circle's Henna Mandala. I decided that I wanted to finish this piece for one of my nieces because her house is complete burnt oranges. So this is on an old piece of Weeks Dye Works Sanguine linen, and I did this with, let's see if I have a skein of the thread that I used. I know I do. It's just a variegated DMC, and this is DMC 4135. I love this one. It's so pretty. So love this. She's a little hippie and she will like this as well. I'll get this framed for her. Because I was looking, and once you get, there's a man walking around in my yard. Pause, please. He's reading the neighbor's meter. Still, the way I have my blinds, I could just see feet going by my window, and you're like, high alert. Anyway, I was looking, and to get the square size frame that I need in a style that I wanted for this piece, I was going to have to special order it. And then by the time you pay that for the frame, it was going to be close to getting it professionally done. And I hate FFOing things. With the passion and fire of 1,000 suns, I would rather be stitching. It's worth a little bit extra for me to have somebody else do it. So I am going to, probably next month, because I just paid for this and that was a chunk of change. So probably next month I'll work this into my stitching budget to have this framed. I'm also close to a finish on another piece. I'll go ahead and jump ahead and show you that. And because this is still in the Q-snap, because I am so close, like I give myself about 3 days to finish this. I think I can get it done in 3 days, by the weekend, if not this weekend. So this and that smaller piece will probably go to the framer together next month. I'm going to put a picture here of what it looks like finished, and I'll credit whoever I pull this photo from on Instagram. This is a free piece called the Weaver's Tapestry Band Sampler, and Magical525 has a blog. I've talked about this many times before, and you can download this for free. It is a little frustrating, but you know, you can't look a gift horse in the mouth. Beggars can't be choosers. Choose your saying that you want to insert here. Because she originally released it as a SAL, so you get it in these little strips. And you did like a strip a week for a whole year. So it's in very doable pieces. But when you're doing it long after the fact, I mean, you've just got to kind of work those pieces together. And you know what? It's doable. And I'm having no trouble with it. I usually just keep a couple of pages magneted to my Q-snap at a time and just kind of work on more than one. So you saw this. Here's where I am. I'm at the very, very end of it. The border's done. I've just got to finish this final band of donkeys. I think these are donkeys or mules. So yeah, so close. After finishing these 3 pieces, once I finish this, I'm allowing myself a new start or 2. And I know I'm gonna start probably this weekend, the Vanity Sampler Sal that I recharted and picked out new colors for. And I'm not sure where I stuck that. I think it's in my basket over there, but you'll see that next time. Started. And if you don't follow me on Instagram already, you can see I post daily progress pictures, and I'm Eclectic Possessions on there. I'll put that right here. So check me out on there. If I don't post daily, I probably didn't stitch that day, which I try to stitch every day, not because it's like something I have to do, but it's something I enjoy so much, I like to do it every day. It's not a chore for me. It's how I de-stress from my job. One more thing that I worked on since the last video, and that is this piece. Brenda Gervais, Caroline Amelia Trowell. This is an antique sampler that she reproduced. I love this quirky little sampler so much. It's got a lot of like pinks and stuff in it, which isn't normally my colors, but it's just so damn quirky. I mean, look at it. One of the things I really like about this booklet, if you don't already own this, is not only is there the photo of the antique in here, which shows you, you know, how similar it is, but also there's all these pages on the research that she did and the history that she read on this young girl. And a lot of designers who do reproductions do that, but this one in particular I just found really, really interesting and fun. I don't know, it's a good one if you don't already own that. And here we go. I was like, I just threw my threads in here, but I needed extras of some colors, and it's one of the reasons that I put it aside. I ran out of brick, Weeks Dye Works brick, which is one of the main burgundies, so I bought another skein of that. I got some more endive, which is the main green. But here are all the colors together. I love this blue that's in here. It's Weeks Dye Works Fathom. It's just such a pretty blue. So there's these. I am stitching this on a piece of Fiber on a Whim 36 count latte, which is a fantastic light neutral. And you can see how small this sampler is because this is a fat quarter. So I will be able to use this for a small. Let's fold this over. I got so much done on this. I had already brought the border all the way across and barely started on that house. So I got the house done. I got underneath the house done. I brought the border down on both sides, and I got the second row started. I love this piece. I cannot wait to finish it. And I want to say maybe it's one I'll pull out again in Sampler September, but we'll see. I'm very much a person that's like squirrel. So I know I've already earmarked a few of my oldest samplers, like the ones that I started first to work on in Sampler September, so we'll see. So that is everything I've worked on. Let's talk haul, which is significant. I did a no-buy last month because I was paying for our vacation that we're taking this fall. And I guess I just bought more this month. It's okay. It's okay. I don't remember where I got all of this from, but if I do, I'll let you know. Several people have been stitching this piece. This is Blackberry House by Plum Street Samplers. I must have missed this along the way. Let's see if it says copyright 2015. That's the year I really got heavy back into stitching. So I guess I just missed this one. I don't know. But there's a lot of people stitching it right now, so I picked it up. I will tell you, I will be changing the colors in this and making it a little darker when I do it. Oh gosh, it's so pretty. Very unique. So there's that. This is one that I have liked since it came out, and it came out earlier this year. I thought that this would be really, really cute to do on, I have several vintage trivets that I've bought that I'm doing little smalls that I can stretch something over like the original ceramic on the trivet and use in my kitchen. I thought this would be beautiful on a trivet. And I can pick my own colors, pick my own fabric, and put this in my kitchen. This is Ink Circles Tea Berry Tile, which is funny because it's called tile. I didn't even think of that. Very pretty. This one is one that I also somehow missed along the way. And let's see, I don't see the copyright on this. Let's look. I feel like it's older because it has, no, 2022. This is Stacy Nash Primitives Maria Higginson 1837 sampler. I love a big house, guys. Some people hate to stitch houses. I love to stitch houses. Let me get lost in side-to-side fill-in, and I'm just in my happy place. I also love, like, I don't know, I just really like this one. I think it's really pretty. As usual, I'll change the verse because it's religious, but man, it's a good one. And I just don't even remember this from last year. So there's that. Oh. I thought it was older because it actually, you know, the ones where they actually have photos on them and that feels so old school. Nope, from last year. Let's see. This one I got on eBay. I had an eBay alert set up because I had seen this one once upon a time and like really liked it, and it's so simple, but it was out of print and I couldn't find it. So this is Threadwork Primitives, work number 4, Ohio Treasure. It's just a basic little alphabet sampler with some motifs, and I just really like this one. So for a few dollars, put that in my stash. I picked this one up. Actually, I'll put that right there because I bought it with that one. This one popped up, and I must have bought the last one because as soon as I bought it, it was out of stock. So, but it's still out there. It's just not on clearance. This one was on clearance on 123 Stitch. I remember when this one came out, I was like, that's interesting. And now I'm just really drawn to it. It's going to require me to probably do quite the color conversion on, because I would love to do it in overdyed cottons. And what I really don't understand in here is, okay, that's probably what it is, as I talk to myself. I thought it was just NPI, but it's not. It's charted for either DMC or a silk company. And I was like, how are they getting all this variegation with NPI? But then when you look down, there's a huge section that's Gloriana and Thread Gatherer. So that's where that variegation is coming in. I would like to do this in cottons. It's gonna require me to figure that out, which I will one day. This is Queenstown Sampler Designs, Susan Spire, 1827. It's so quirky, and we know I love a quirky sampler. It's hard to see a good image of this online and really tell what the motifs look like. So I'm gonna hold this here for a second and let you be able to really look at all these little motifs and the quirkiness. Yeah. This is 285 by 291. This would potentially be my back to school if I already had this color change worked out. But this will be next year sometime. I've also been stress shopping, which I'll talk about the stress here momentarily. And so that meant that this one that has been in my wish list, I just took the chart and then I added the chart and all of the threads to my cart. And yeah, here are the threads. And I mean, this screams Emily. Just all of these colors. I also saw this hanging in Vicki Jeanette's house when I was there. She has it at the top of her stairs. And this is a needlework press, of course, Vicki. It's fantastic. I cannot wait to do this. It's just a small little sampler. I can put it on, I'm sure, a scrap of something. They have it on 36 count Picture This Plus Heartland. Yeah, pretty exciting. Love this. But I mean, the threads are what really got me. So that's that. These things I know I bought from Hillside Rookery, which is my bestie, Olivia B's shop. And she's phenomenal. And she carries things that she likes and are very much my taste also. A lot of quirky. I bought what I'll show you last, but I saw this and I was like, how have I never seen this? And I just don't get it. And I had to buy it, and I will have to stitch this. This is Carriage House Samplings Honeycomb and Flower Garden. I love a penny border like this. And I would probably end up doing this full coverage, which I haven't read the chart well to see if it's done on black. Yeah, it's done on 32 count black Belfast linen using 2 strands. But I think I would want to do this full coverage. I love this. I love it so much. So this is the quirky thing that came home with this. The bag is from Joanna. I always do this. 1966 maybe. Look for Joanna cross stitch project bag on Etsy and she's going to pop up. I've been buying several bags from her lately because how could you not? And this one, when I saw it, matches this bag or this project perfectly, and I needed it. I haven't put a piece of fabric with this yet. That's on my to-do list for this weekend. But I do have all of the threads. I've seen a lot of people buying this project lately, so I know I'm not the only one that was immediately obsessed with it when it came out. This is the Artsy Housewife Coffee and Eggs. I love this little weird piece. I love it so much. So I'm going to find myself a piece of linen, and this is going to get started soon. I know I have something close to this baked clay color in my stash. I have a piece of baked clay, but it's already earmarked for something, so I love this. I know Steph from Lindy Stitches loves this. Obviously Olivia loves it. It's in her shop. It's just so good. So that's that. Wow. Oh, needle minders. Mad for Minders gifted me a couple where I did that giveaway for her, and then I purchased from her as well. And these are the 2 that she gifted me. I love these. I have had my eye on this weirdo cat for quite some time. And then obviously the tombstone is very me. This one I showed you in a previous video. This is Yvonne Gilbert as the artist. and there's a chart on Heaven and Earth Designs that I started years and years ago. I struggle with full coverage, but I want this done so much, I'm pulling it back out. To motivate myself to work on it, I had this needle minder custom made. You can do that with Mad for Minders. You just add custom minder to your chart, and then you can go back and forth and message them, and they tell you what the email address to send the artwork to that you want on there. But this is going to help motivate me. Having a bag made to put it in that matches it, which is also going to help motivate me. This is what I'm telling myself. But this is Altered by Anne Yvonne Gilbert. And focus. There we go. I love this artwork. It's haunting. And just the details and the fabrics. So, yeah. I've got to get back to this. So I have that. I had I had lunch with Stitching May, Megan, one of my really good local cross-stitch friends recently. She had bought me, actually, let me get that and show it to you. Okay. She and her husband were at a flea market, actually up from where I'm originally from, my hometown. And she messaged me and she said, do you want me to see how much this is? Would you want it? And I said, yes. For those of you who don't know this, I am not religious at all. I consider myself agnostic. But I respect all different religions. So, I mean, you do you, boo. But that's my personal beliefs. But I do love, like, religious iconography and all of the different histories that people have believed in. One of the things that has just fascinated me for years and years and years is Ouija boards. And that people like just believed in them so much and are still scared of them. And so I collect Ouija boards. I don't even know how many I have. In this room right now, there's 4, and like I have some upstairs, I have some in the dining room. I have a lot of them. And this, prior to the ones that we know that were the Milton Bradley, there was William Fuld had his whole series of boards, and then that was bought over by the game company. But prior to that, like in the early 1900s, there was a variety of ones that were done on wood and hardboard and just all very different. She found this one from the 1940s for $2. It's not in great shape, but she found this one. I've never seen this one in person. I've only seen it in like the Talking Board Museum online where they have it, and you know, it's worse for wear. It's a little crumbly, but I've never seen this one. Girl, Major Friends Day. Right now I have it leaned up in my dining room. I'm still trying to get my artwork up in there, and I think I want to buy a few floating shelves, and I think this will get put on a floating shelf in my dining room. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. But so she gave me this, girl, and she also gave me a couple of needle minders that she got for me because she's just ridiculously thoughtful. So it looks like she got these from Stitch and Button. She knows I'm a plant person and a true crime person, so she got me these two. I don't deserve you. I don't. Love you lots. So there's that. And I guess that's it. I think that's really all I had to talk about. I knew it was going to be a shorter video today because just not a ton going on. I will say that the BAP to School sale that the New Hampshire Stitcher is doing is coming up sooner rather than later. And I have mine here ready to go in this bag that I got from Starry Owl Stitchery, which is one of my favorite bag people, Tara. Tara, are you a Tara or are you a Tara? Because I know it's one of those where you're one or the other, and you usually have a lot of thoughts on how people pronounce your name. So if you're not Tara, let me know. The woman who actually does most of my framing for me down at the Michaels next town over is a Tara. So this bag is beautiful. It's so gorgeous. So this is what I'm starting. Jane Moore. I had Jim looking at this with me the other day and trying to help me figure out what verse I'm going to replace the religious one with. And it'll come to me. I'll come up with something, and as per usual, I'll share it. If you want any of the verses I've ever replaced things with before, you can generally go to my Instagram, Eclectic Possessions, and you go to my profile and you click on my link tree, and then I have lots of links there. I have a link to my YouTube. I have a link to my Amazon storefront where I've linked things like the thread drops that I like to use, my favorite scissors, and just a lot of random Amazon stuff as well. But I also have links to my Google Drive where I've uploaded all of my recharts, for I think all of them. If there's one that I've done that isn't there, let me know and I'll make sure to get it up for you. But I'm more than happy to share whatever. And people might throw a couple of dollars my way on my Venmo that's also linked on there, but you don't have to. You can just take it and use it, and I'm perfectly fine with that because I've already charted it and it's yours for the using. So September 1st is also my 8-year Flosstube anniversary. So for that and for the back to school sale, I am starting this beauty. It's charted in DMC. I have all of the DMC here, and my lazy procrastinating butt still has not put it on thread drops yet. I'll do that this weekend. In fact, Jim and I are driving down to South Georgia on Saturday because my best friend from high school, who is still like, and to me, best friend is a tier and not a specific person. Like, I feel like I have multiple friends who fall at that same level. So it's a tier, not a person. She's that best friend, though, where we met at 15. We still have tons in common. And we can go a couple of months not talking to each other and then pick up like we never skipped a beat. So she and her husband just built a house in South Georgia, and she wants me to come see it because they just moved in. So me and Jim are loading up and going down there and spending part of the day. And maybe I can thread drop threads on the way down there and get that done. That would be productive. It's a good idea. So I'll do that, and I'll have this ready to go. I'm so excited about this. And Jim was looking at it, and he said, you know, one thing that bothers me a little is, and I was like, Jim, this little girl was, how old was she? Does it say? She was 12. So, which is actually a pretty advanced stitcher for this time period oftentimes, but he said it bothers me that this cat, and it says crouching tiger, so that makes more sense. It says this is a crouching tiger, birds, a stag, and then there's a hippocampus, which is a mythological creature, and that's one of the other reasons that I freaking love this. But Jim was like, I feel like that the bird and the deer should be different sizes, and the sizes are off. But we decided that this is Dharma, and she's a chonk, so she would be a similar size to a small stag. It does. The crouching tiger does look a little like Dharma. So there's that. I pulled this fabric that I got from my recent trip to Missouri and coloring cotton to use for this. I wish I could tell you more. This says coloring cotton limited edition. The SKU on it is 25114. I don't know if that helps, but it's just a really simple modeled piece of fabric. Let's hold it back here. And I really wanted something that was plain and simple and that these colors would just pop right off of. So I'm excited. That'll be fun. I love stitching on her fabric too. It's a snug weave, and I've said this before, but one of the reasons I like working with cotton so much is it's like an ASMR. Like the sound of the cotton pulling through a linen. I love that sound, and it's so soothing for me. So her fabric in particular, you can really feel that like grab and pull and hear it. I know, I'm a weirdo. Stress, work stress. We are gearing up to start a new class. So we are recruiting and interviewing volunteers and getting that ready to start a new class on September 7th. If you are in the Bartow or Gordon County area of Georgia and you would like to volunteer for my agency, reach out to me. You can join our class. Little plug there. But also, we have been getting ready and buying and building and renovating a new building for the agency I work for a couple of years now. And we are moving in next week. When I say that I don't know where some things are and everything is in boxes and it's just chaotic, and like I spent one day last week in one of our storage units, like moving stuff, furniture around and boxes around and labeling everything with what room it needs to go in the new building, and sweating my tail off. Like, and it's stressful. And my brain can be irrational. Where are my insomnia people at? I woke up at 4 a.m. this morning and I laid there for about 40 minutes just worrying about random things related to work. Things that in the evening, like right now, are completely irrational. These are things I shouldn't worry about at all. Things that I have no control over. But at 4 a.m., they seem like very important and legitimate concerns worth losing sleep over. I take melatonin. I mean, it gets me to sleep, and it's slow time release, so it should keep me asleep, but you know what? Sometimes it doesn't. So that's happening. Something I'm also contemplating, and I'm going to get with my local library because I keep missing stitching meetups in Georgia. I keep missing them. So I'm going to be one of those mildly selfish people, and I think I'm going to schedule my own. So I think I'm going to go to our local library here in Cartersville, Georgia. So if you're in this area, drivable distance, I'm going to see if I can't, we actually did a recruitment session there in this lovely room the other day. And I'm going to see if I can't get it one Saturday. And maybe if you're near Cartersville, Georgia, you'd be willing to come to a stitching meetup. So there's a group on Facebook that's just for Georgia Stitchers. You need to have that you live in Georgia in your profile where it's visible and you can join it. It's just for meeting and interacting with other Georgia stitchers and setting events. So if I'm able to do it, I'll set the event in there. I'll probably share it on my Facebook. But that's a thing that I'm thinking about doing, because I could really use some local stitcher interactions. So working on turning that around in my brain. Maybe I'll make it by the library again this week. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't have any plants to show you today at the end, as I often do, because I had some struggles when I had COVID all through July and still recovering part of August. I had some pest issues that cropped up and lost a couple of plants. Or there's a couple where I was just like, you know what, screw you, plant. Truth be told. So yeah, it is what it is. Buy a pothos. You can't kill those. Knock on wood. Buy a pothos. They live through everything. I'm looking at one on my mantle right now that is just living its best life. I would bring it over here, but my 46, almost 47-year-old husband has tucked a Rambo action figure into the wildness of it, because, you know, collecting vintage toys is his hobby. Plants and cross stitch is mine, so he can put a Rambo action figure in my living room if he wants to, because that's what he loves. All right, I'm gonna quit blabbering. I'm gonna be done. Let me know if you're in this area and would be interested in a meetup. Back to school, Sal. Go check out New Hampshire Stitcher. I'll see you guys next time. But the next time that you see me, I think I'm gonna do a kit parade. And I think I'm gonna film that sometime in September. So that may be the next thing you see before a full catch-up Flosstube. So I'll see you guys then. Thanks so much for watching.